Being a civil liberties activist is someone who makes sure that people's rights that are guaranteed by the Constitution are being protected. And this is someone who's speaking up for a marginalized community and making sure that they're giving that person or that community a voice.
I think that this is the right time to stand up against any type of oppression, and we need to do that in order to give a better future to students and people in the community.
You are taking the philosophy of our founding fathers of challenging the status quo and making a better society for not only yourself, but your friends, family, and the future generations. And it's about sticking up for what you believe, and it's about defending people's inalienable rights.
The reason I decided to become an activist is because I know the feeling of being powerless. I'd rather do something about it so that I can either prevent it or help others with resources I have, so that they don't go through the same situation, or even if they already did, they know where to turn to and they know that they have someone there for them.
My family has been a really big push for my activism for as long as I can remember. I've done work with the Black Lives Matter movement. I've started clubs at my school. One was entitled Voices for Equality, in which we met with representatives and leaders within the community and made sure that we're researching these problems that are in our communities and giving a voice to everyone. I've also worked a lot with feminism and the LGBTQ community, as well as I am a leader in the special ed program, so I'm making sure that these kids are given a voice and that they're given the exact same opportunities that any other child in school would be given as well. People come to America for those guaranteed rights and are often denied them. So I think that since I was given a voice and I am a leader in my community, it's just my responsibility to make sure that everyone is living the life that they should and that they're protected. I hope that in the future that we're a more accepting place, that everyone loves each other for who they are, and that there's not such bigotry and racism and sexism in the United States, and that it's just a place where everyone can get along, but also a place where people are engaging with each other and they're voting and they're getting engaged in politics, and just hopefully we can make the world a better place.
I think that everything started with Latinos in Action because I was doing community service, and that was how my activism started, with leadership and community service. Last year I was in my US government class, and my teacher talked to me about this plan that Comunidades Unidas had about this resolution that they wanted to present to the Salt Lake School District to protect undocumented students' rights at school. And I said, well, this is something that interests me, and I want to do that. I want to collaborate with them, and I want to know how much we can achieve. After the resolution, I decided to run for diversity ambassador at West High School, which has given me the opportunity to open a diversity board at West that is engaged in social justice, unity, and service. And we are not only representing the different cultures and the diverse at West High School, but we are also representing the LGBT community and the dreamers, which is, I think, really important nowadays. I would like to continue to make a change in our community and represent the Latino community, and look forward to have other allies and people that will help me achieve many things in the future.
When I was 16, almost 17, I was sexually assaulted at my job by my boss. First thing I did that same, probably 3 minutes right after it happened, I went to my aunt who worked in the same areas I did, and once I told her, we called the police and I reported everything. So ever since, I've always advocated for myself, and I also like advocating for others by going around and spreading the word and letting them know about stories around us, my story, and information, so that they are aware of what's happening. After my sexual assault, I've heard about many people in my community that have been through the same situation as in sexual assault or bullying, and just being able to spread like my knowledge of, you know, like staying quiet's never gonna help you. If you look for the resources that there are around you, you're gonna find lots of people that are there to help you, even though you might feel like there's nobody for you. There's always an option. The way I share everything with the community is I've become a published author in Our Voices magazine, and I talked about both bullying and sexual assault. It is amazing to have an education, but I think like putting not just your education but your knowledge and experiences together in order to make a difference in your community, I think that's what I'm really hoping to do.
When I was in elementary school, I was politically active in the systems of the elementary school, I guess you could say. I started a petition to keep the tire swing on our playground, and I rallied my classmates to sign it, and that way we were able to keep the tire swing. So from a young age, I've always been involved in standing up for what I believe, but as I matured, it moved from tire swings to gun reform, for instance, and more serious matters. Within my own school, I made spaces for LGBT students to feel safe by having a Pride Day. That way they can feel like they are accepted and they have rights as LGBT. I promoted DACA and supporting DACA so that students at my school who may fall under that category would feel like they're protected and they're in a safe place because they have a right to be at school and they have a right to be in this country. And then my most recent work is with the March for Our Lives, planning the Salt Lake City rally in March. So students can feel like they have a right to a safe education, and also that we as Americans should be protected from gun violence. I've also been working with different local leaders as well as state leaders to try to figure out how we can ban conversion therapy in Utah, whether it's on the county level, city level, or state level. You never do activism for yourself, you always do it for others. So a lot of my activism has been promoted by my friends who have been part of groups that were oppressed, whether it be at home, within their own families, or with a larger system. And I was frustrated to see them in places where they were hurt or where they were suffering. And so that's why I became an activist, because I want to change it so they would have a better place.